Free NFL picks. This is action here for Sunday, December 10th. Tony T, our NFL pick show here for Sunday's action. It features all 12 games. Before we get to you, just a couple of things. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free NFL picks updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports, making it a great time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel with a like, a thumbs up, we greatly appreciate that. Then visit TonySpicks.com. We are a multi-capper site showcasing top performers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers, get signed up to our long-term passes. Hot cappers up there here for the year, like Joseph Schultz has been on absolute fire. Also, you're looking here at Hollywood Sam, Ramon Scott, Marlon Chauncey doing great this year. Nick Vartini in the last 30 days has been hot. So is Daniel. Mindy's even hit the board here as well. She's been on fire. Nick Vartini, check him out. Click the links, get signed up to our long-term passes. Latest spring picks here, center of the page, tabs with our best bets, multi-packs, and more. So go ahead and get signed up. You may purchase our plays a la carte from that pick ticker. There you'll find team versus team information. And you can save 20% off all premium pick packages when you use our promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access our page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, get signed up. Also, if you're a big bettor, if you bet between $500 and $1,000 a game, you may be someone interested here in our executive service for big bankroll players, run by our man Uncle Charlie. We get you the plays when the lines come out, and whenever information breaks and we find an edge in these numbers, you get the picks directly to you by phone or text. You want to call for more information right now? Our man running the phones is Uncle Charlie. Call him right now at 323-607-0203, only for the big bankroll players. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get this one started. Rams and Ravens NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Los Angeles tight end Tyler Higbee is doubtful on defense. Two linebackers and a safety are questionable. Baltimore starters on offense and defense healthy. Los Angeles improved to 6-6 with their 36-19 home victory to Cleveland. Rams rushed for 120 yards on 25 carries. They allowed 3.8 yards per rush to the Browns with 240 passing yards on 44 attempts. Matthew Stafford completed 22 of 37 passes for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. He averaged 7.5 yards per pass attempt. Baltimore 9-3 after their 20-10 road win 2 weeks ago against Los Angeles Chargers. Ravens rushed for 197 yards on 35 carries. They held LA to 4.2 yards per rush with 193 yards passing on 44 attempts. Baltimore had a +4 turnover margin. Lamar Jackson 18-32 passing for 177 yards and a touchdown. The Ravens have been a strong home team by outscoring opponents by an average of 15.2 points a game and outgaining opponents by 105 yards. The Ravens have the second-ranked defense in the NFL by allowing 273 yards a game. They are tops in yards allowed per completion and pass attempts. And Los Angeles has struggled with quarterback accuracy this season. Rain forecast has to help the Ravens here. Stafford has 5 interceptions on the road. Play here Baltimore -7.5. Colts and the Bengals NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Indianapolis running back Jonathan Taylor and their right tackle are out. On defense, a linebacker and corner are questionable. Receiver Tyler Boyd is questionable, and on defense, tackle is questionable. Indianapolis improved to 7-5 with their 31-28 road overtime win at Tennessee. Colts rushed for 55 yards on 23 carries. They allowed 177 yards rushing to the Titans with 204 yards passing on 33 attempts. Gardner Minshew completed 26 of 42 passes for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 7.4 yards per pass attempt. Cincinnati moved to 6-6 after their 34-31 road win at Jacksonville. Bengals rushed for 156 yards on 31 carries. They held the Jaguars to 2.9 yards per carry and with 305 yards passing on 39 attempts. Jake Browning, 32 of 37 passing for 354 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 9.6 yards per pass attempt and a rushing touchdown. Minshew 4-10 to the spread as a road underdog. Bengals key playmakers are healthy, and Browning has shown the ability to make plays to them. They moved the ball for 511 yards to the Jaguars last week. The Colts have been beaten up on losing teams and struggle against the better competition. Play here Cincinnati -2. Buccaneers and Falcons NFL pick this one here on Sunday. All right, Tampa Bay starters are healthy on offense. On defense, and linebacker and corner are out with their nose tackle questionable. Atlanta right tackle on offense out with the receiver Matt Collins and their center questionable. On defense, a nose tackle and linebacker are out. Both corners are questionable. Tampa Bay improved to 5-7 with their 21-18 home victory to Carolina. Bucs rushed for 128 yards on 28 carries. They allowed 133 yards rushing to the Panthers with 149 yards passing on 31 attempts. Baker Mayfield completed 14 of 29 passing for 202 yards with a touchdown and interception. He averaged 7 yards per pass attempt. Atlanta is 6-6 after their 13-8 road win at New York Jets. Falcons rushed for 90 yards on 34 carries. They allowed 2.3 yards per rush to the Jets with 197 yards passing on 38 attempts. Atlanta had a +3 turnover margin. Desmond Ridder hit 12 of 27 passes for 121 yards with a touchdown. He averaged a season low 4.5 yards per pass attempt. Tampa Bay is rushing for only 3.5 yards a carry, which is 32nd and last in the NFL. Atlanta is 10th in total defense, holding teams to 3.5 yards a carry, and they limit opposing quarterbacks to under 62% completion rate. Bucs are giving up big plays in the passing game, sitting 29th in yards per completion and 27th in passing yards per attempt. Tampa Bay allows 383 yards on the road. Ridder has been more accurate at home, over 66% completion rate. Play here Atlanta on -2. Lions and Bears NFL pick. This one here on Sunday. Detroit center and fullback are out. Their defensive starters are healthy. Chicago receiver St. Brown is out. On defense, an end is questionable. Detroit improved to 9-3 with their 33-28 road win at New Orleans. Lions rushed for 142 yards on 30 carries. They allowed 113 yards rushing to the Saints with 249 yards passing on 29 attempts. Detroit had a +2 turnover margin. Jared Goff, 16 of 25 passing for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 8.5 yards per pass attempt. Chicago's 4-8 after their 12-10 road win at Minnesota. Bears rushed for 118 yards on 28 carries. They limited the Vikings to 73 yards rushing with 169 passing yards on 32 attempts. Chicago had 2 turnovers and took 4 away from the Vikings via interceptions. Justin Fields, 27 of 37 for 217 yards. He lost 2 fumbles and averaged 5.9 yards per pass attempt. All the Bears' points came on field goals. Now it's going to be a windy day as forecasted. Chicago defense in their past 3 games allowing 264 yards per game. Chicago's holding teams to 3.4 yards per rush. Cold weather game and Goff performance in these cold conditions concern. Goff is not as accurate on the road, and this will be his first cold weather game of the season. Goff 14-8 to the under as a road favorite. Play here Detroit, Chicago under 43. Panthers and the Saints. NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Tight end Hayden Hurst is out for Carolina, and their center is questionable. On defense, an end is out with the linebacker questionable. New Orleans quarterback Carr is questionable, as are receivers Olave and Shaheed. Tight end Juwan Johnson also questionable. On defense, an end and linebacker are questionable. Carolina fell to 1-11 after their 21-18 road defeat to Tampa Bay. Panthers are rushed for 133 yards on 34 carries. They allowed 128 yards rushing to the Buccaneers with 194 yards passing on 29 attempts. Bryce Young, 15 of 31 passing for 178 yards and an interception. He averaged 5.7 yards per pass attempt. New Orleans drops to 1-11 with their 33-28 home defeat to Detroit Lions. Saints rushed for 113 yards on 36 carries. They allowed 142 yards rushing to the Lions with 205 yards passing on 25 attempts. New Orleans had a -2 turnover margin. Derek Carr hit 17 of 22 passes for 226 yards with a touchdown and interception. He averaged 10.3 yards per pass attempt. Carr was listed as questionable with a rib injury and concussion protocol, but Carr was cleared of injuries available to play here. The Panthers have failed to cover 5 of 6 on the road with a push. On the road, Carolina giving up 28 points a game. Their offense over their past 3 games averaging just under 13 points and 242 yards a game. Since the bye week, Carr has completed 68% of his passes for 8.8 yards per pass attempt. Carolina rushed for only 3.8 yards a carry and had an inefficient passing attack this season. Play here will be New Orleans -6. Jaguars and Browns NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Jacksonville quarterback Trevor Lawrence is questionable, as is running back Travis Etienne. Their left tackle is out. On defensive corner is out, and their nose tackle questionable. Cleveland receiver Amari Cooper is questionable, and on defensive corner is questionable. Jacksonville fell to 8-4 with their 34-31 home overtime loss To Cincinnati, the Jaguars rushed for 71 yards on 25 carries. They allowed 156 yards rushing to the Bengals with 335 yards passing on 39 attempts. Trevor Lawrence has a high ankle sprain and is unlikely to play. C.J. Beathard is the backup and completed 9 of 10 passes for 63 yards with 6.3 yards per pass attempt. Cleveland dropped to 7-5 with their 36-19 road defeat to Los Angeles Rams. Browns rushed for 87 yards on 23 carries. They allowed 120 yards rushing to the Rams with 279 passing yards on 37 attempts. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is in concussion protocol and will be the backup for Flacco Joe Flacco going 23. He was in concussion protocol. Will be the backup here. Joe Flacco went 23 of 44, 254 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 5.8 yards per pass attempt, and of course there is some film on him now. C.J. Beathard is the backup for Lawrence, should he not go. But Lawrence, man, this is one tough guy. He's played through injuries earlier in the season. Beathard didn't relief Lawrence last week. Did complete 9 of 10 passes for 63 yards and has experience in the NFL since 2017, receiving heavy action for San Francisco in 3 seasons. Joe Flacco immobility, the concern here. Play here, Jacksonville +3. Texans and Jets, NFL pick for action on Sunday. Houston receiver Noah Brown and the right tackle are questionable. Tight end Dalton Schultz is out. On defensive tackle and safety are questionable. New York running back Breece Hall and right tackle are questionable, with receiver Jason Brownlee out. On defense, an end is questionable. Houston improved to 7-5 with a 22-17 home victory to Denver. Texans rushed for 89 yards on 30 carries. They held the Broncos to 3.9 yards per rush with 164 yards passing on 26 attempts. Houston had a +3 turnover margin. C.J. Stroud, 16 of 27 passing for 274 yards with a touchdown. He averaged 10 yards per pass attempt. New York fell to 4-8 after the 13-8 home defeat to Atlanta. Jets rushed for 62 yards on 25 carries. They held the Falcons at 2.7 yards per carry with 104 yards passing on 27 attempts. New York had a -3 turnover margin. Zach Wilson to start. Wilson is completing 59% of his passes with 6.1 yards per pass attempt. He has 6 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He returns after a 2-game benching. Jets are holding teams at 4.9 yards per play, sitting second in the league. Houston rushes for just 3.7 yards a carry, which ranks 29th. Houston pass defense poor. They're giving up 68% completion rate. They're also allowing big plays. His opponents averaging 7.2 yards per pass attempt, which is 29th in the league. But rain and wind are in the forecast, and the Texans' poor rushing attack the concern. Play here, New York Jets +3.5. Seahawks and 49ers NFL pick this one here on Sunday. All right, Seattle quarterback Geno Smith and running back Kenneth Walker are questionable. On defense, their nose tackle and linebacker are questionable. San Francisco right guard doubtful. And on defense, a tackle is out. Seattle fell to 6-6, a 41-35 road defeat to Dallas. Seahawks rushed for 72 yards on 22 carries. They allowed 136 yards rushing to the Cowboys with 275 yards passing on 41 attempts. Geno Smith, 23 of 41 passing for 334 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 8.1 yards per pass attempt and had a rushing touchdown. San Francisco improved to 9-3 after their 42-19 road win at Philadelphia. 49ers rushed for 146 yards on 28 carries. They limited the Eagles to 2.7 yards per rush with 287 yards passing on 48 attempts. Brock Purdy, 19 of 27 passing for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns. He averaged 11.6 yards per pass attempt. Smith is a game-time decision with his groin injury. He was limited in practice on Thursday and held out on Friday. Drew Lock figures to start as Smith can't go. Lock, over the past 3 seasons, has completed 57% of his passes with 18 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. Seahawks defense the past 3 games has given up 30 points and 352 yards a game. The 49ers have just been pounding teams with their playmakers. Healthy play here, San Francisco, -13.5. Vikings and Raiders NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Minnesota right guard is questionable. Their defensive starters are healthy. Las Vegas left tackle is out. Defensively, an end is questionable. Minnesota fell to 6-6 with their 12-10 home defeat to Chicago. Vikings rushed for 73 yards on 17 carries. They allowed 118 yards rushing to the Bears with 199 yards passing on 37 attempts. Chicago had a -2 turnover margin. Joshua Dobbs, 22 of 32 passing for 185 yards with a touchdown and 4 interceptions. He averaged 5.8 yards per pass attempt. Las Vegas drops to 5-7 after their 31-17 home defeat to Kansas City. Raiders rushed for 123 yards on 23 carries. They limit the Chiefs to 3 yards per rush with 291 yards passing on 34 attempts. Aiden O'Connell, 23 of 33 passing for 248 yards with a touchdown. He averaged 7.5 yards per pass attempt. The Vikings have covered all 5 on the road. Past 3 games, the Vikings defense given up 297 yards and 17 points a game. The Raiders offense has struggled of late in this period, averaging 15 points a game while giving up 382 yards. The Vikings are coming off a bye and have their playmakers healthy. Remember, the return of Justin Jefferson, player Minnesota, -3. Broncos and Chargers. NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Denver starters on offense and defense are healthy. Los Angeles starters on offense are healthy. On defense, Bosa and a corner are out. Denver fell to 6-6, a 22-17 road defeat to Houston. Broncos rushed for 118 yards on 30 carries. They held the Texans at 3 yards per rush but 264 yards passing on 28 attempts. Denver had a -3 turnover margin. Russell Wilson, 15 of 26 for 186 yards with a touchdown and 3 picks. He averaged 7.2 yards per pass attempt, and he did rush for 44 yards and a touchdown. Chargers now 5-7 after their 6-0 road win at New England. Pretty bad weather there. Chargers numbers are not going to be pretty here. They rushed for 29 yards on 24 carries. They allowed 148 yards rushing to the Patriots with 109 yards passing on 25 attempts. Justin Herbert, 22 of 37 passing for 212 yards, 5.7 yards per pass attempt. Denver's offense has struggled in the division by averaging 16 points and 232 yards a game. They failed to cover 3 of 4 on the road with a push by averaging only 290 yards a game. The Broncos defense has not been good on the road. Play here in Los Angeles, -2.5. Bills and Chiefs. NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Buffalo tight end Knox is questionable. Their defensive starters are healthy. Kansas City running back Pacheco and their left tackle out. On defensive linebackers out. Buffalo fell to 6-6 with their 37-34 road overtime defeat to Philadelphia. Bills rushed for 173 yards on 43 carries. They allowed 185 yards rushing to the Eagles with 193 yards passing on 31 attempts. Josh Allen completed 29 of 51 passes for 339 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 6.6 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kansas City drops to 8-4 after their 27-19 road defeat to Green Bay. Chiefs rushed for 148 yards on 25 carries. They allowed 5.1 yards per rush to the Packers with 253 yards passing on 36 attempts. Patrick Mahomes hit 21 of 33 for 210 yards with a touchdown and interception. He averaged 6.4 yards per pass attempt. Buffalo has lost 5 of 7 on the road. The Bills giving up 355 yards a game. The Bills on the road have lost and failed to cover 5 of 6. There is depth at the running back position for the Chiefs. KC defense strong against the run and pass. Play here, Kansas City -1. Eagles and Cowboys. NFL pick this one here on Sunday. Philadelphia and Dallas starters on offense, defense, healthy. So both teams coming in with healthy starters. Philadelphia fell to 10-2 with their 42-19 home defeat to San Francisco. Eagles rushed for 46 yards on 18 carries. They allowed 146 yards rushing to the 49ers with 310 yards passing on 27 attempts. Jalen Hurts, 26 of 45 passing for 298 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 6.6 yards per pass attempt and rushed for 20 yards and a touchdown. Dallas improved to 9-3 after their 41-35 home victory to Seattle. Cowboys rushed for 136 yards on 34 carries. They limited the Seahawks to 72 yards rushing, but 334 yards passing on 41 attempts. Dak Prescott, 29 of 41 passing for 299 yards with 3 touchdowns. He averaged 7.3 yards per pass attempt. Eagles have won 5 of 6 on the road as they've held teams to 309 yards and 18.8 points a game. Before losing to San Francisco, the Eagles posted consecutive wins against the Cowboys and Bills at home with a win at the Chiefs. Dallas has not performed well against the better teams in this league. The Seahawks defense, remember, put up 35 points on the Cowboys. Sorry, the Seahawks offense put up 35 points on the Cowboys defense in their last game. Play here, Philadelphia +3.5. All right, that was our NFL pick show here for Sunday's games. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free NFL picks updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. making it a great time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel with a like, a thumbs up, we greatly appreciate it. Remember to visit our site, Tony'sPicks.com, for our best plays. Our premium picks are there. Remember the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save that 20% off. You'll find a link to our site in the description. Remind you again, if you're a big bettor, big bankroll bettor, so bet 500,000 a game, check out our executive service. We give you plays as the line's open, and immediately when we find information giving us those great edges against the line, give us a call right now. Our man, Uncle Charlie, is running the phones, 323-607-0203. Find out about our executive service where big bankroll players get signed up. All right, lots of live show. We'll get a live show for you at 9 a.m. each time here with the Morning Steam. And, of course, lots of free picks on our channel. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you guys later.